Hello everyone, Ryjack back here for another video. Today we are looking at Man City's FA Cup game against Bournemouth. It is the quarterfinals. We got one more game. We go to Wembley following that for the semis and hopefully for the final. Our one chance to win a trophy this season. Can we do it? Let's dive in. Let's take a look, see about the run-in we would have, and let's decide. Let's look at the schedule and build a squad, see what's going on. So anyway, let me pull up the preview here on SofaScore. And, City have been on international break, as everyone has, and I really despise international breaks. They are unfortunate. They're not fun, especially as an American. It's just boring to watch the USMNT play. None of our guys are great or anything, but brutal window for us. Anyway, nonetheless, I'm very excited that City are back. We play Sunday, then we get back to the Premier League and try to lock down Champions League spot for next season. But right now, all the focus is on the FA Cup, which is fine. Should be a lot of focus. I think we should go with a strong squad for sure. We are late in the competition here, obviously. Bournemouth's certainly going to go for it. I don't know if Bournemouth have ever won a major trophy. I'm going to lean towards no. They haven't been a Premier League club that long, so most likely they've got no hard major silverware to their name. So, and they're flying this season, having an unreal season. This would be, the icing on the cake. They could get Europe even without the FA Cup, but with it, you do qualify for the Europa League. So I'm sure they're certainly going for it, and they're going to go with the full strength squad without a doubt. Now, the lineup that they show here on SofaScore, they have Evan Nilsson at striker, Semenyo left wing, Tavernier right wing, and Kluivert in sort of a second striker role. Semenyo, mega player, really impressive. I think he's going to get a move in the summer for sure. Kluivert has been very good this season, and Evan Nilsson has been pretty good so far in the Premier League. So I imagine that's what they go with. Maybe it's a little different. Maybe it's not. Who knows? In the midfield, you do have Tyler Adams and Ryan Christie. Again, Tyler Adams, an American, very good player. Probably not quite as good as maybe Bournemouth have hoped, but in general, Tyler Adams is really good at Leeds, and I do think he's a good player. I think he's quality, so watch out for him, of course. Now, the back line is where you get a little interesting. Milos Kerkez apparently is suspended for yellow card accumulation. Now, this site here doesn't confirm that, but I've seen that on Twitter that he's not going to be available for selection, which would be great. Obviously, he's very, very good up-and-coming left back, one I think City should definitely look at if we are going to go for a left back, because if we don't, he's going to go to Liverpool, he's going to go to Chelsea, wherever. He's going to go to a top club in England or elsewhere. But he's very impressive. Kerkez has been in great form, and he's very young, only 21 years old, I believe. Yeah, 21 years old. Very, very impressive there. Houston, however you say it, one of the best youngsters in the Premier League, Spanish international. A lot of Real Madrid links. I think there's a 50 million release clause. I've seen that on Twitter. Maybe not true, but definitely one for the future and even one for the now. The guy is very impressive. If City go for a center back in the market, say we sell Stones or Ake, I'd love to go for this Hoyson guy. Seems very, very good. Now they have a market value at 20 million. There's no way. It's higher than that for sure. They pair him with Zabarny, another good center back, solid option. Lewis Cook, fine right back, but probably one of the weaker areas of their team. And then Kepa in goal, not a great keeper by any means. He's been all right for Bournemouth this year, but certainly not someone who scares us behind the sticks. If we look at injuries and suspensions, now I don't know how accurate the suspensions are because, like I said, I think Kerkez and possibly Hoyson are not actually available. But you have Enes Unal out, Adam Smith out, Araujo doubtful, Senesi doubtful, and Sinistera doubtful. For Man City, of course, they have Oscar Bob as doubtful, which I could see probable. He hasn't played at all this season with that broken leg. Still waiting for any news on his potential return. He could play. He could maybe come off the bench latter stages of the game. It's possible. I wouldn't bank on it. Pep did say in his press conference there was no new injuries or anything like that he was aware of. So everybody came back from internationals relatively healthy, which is a little bit surprising because I'm sure a lot of you guys know and are aware that there was a rumor Gvardiol was injured. Wasn't mentioned by Pep as far as I'm aware in the press conference yesterday, so looks like he could be a go. Stones, Ake, Rodri, Akanji all out for the rest of the season. Ederson had an injury before the internationals. No major update on if he's back, but it is the FA Cup, so I imagine Ortega gets to start, even if Ederson was healthy. They have Bernardo Silva there. I'm not sure why. I don't think he's injured, as far as I'm aware, but maybe he is. So the lineup they went with: Ortega, Lewis, Kusanov, Diaz, Vardiol, Nico G, Gundogan, Savinho, Marmoush, Doku, and Haaland. Maybe I could see that. I'm not entirely sure. I'll do probably a little bit different lineup for me, but if you look elsewhere at the form here, you switch over to FOTMob. I do like this one a little bit better, this site, but it didn't have the potential lineup here, so I went with SofaScore for the beginning. Team form: City coming off the 2-2 draw with Brighton, the loss to Forest, a nice win in the Cup against Plymouth, a win against Spurs, and then the 2-0 loss against Liverpool. Very up and down, of course, whereas Bournemouth have actually struggled of late. No wins in their last 5, at least. Now, again, that doesn't really make a difference to me. No one's played any meaningful club football for 14, 15 days at this point now, so kind of a fresh reset, and I think it's time we take a look at the lineup here. Now, for me, like I said, I will be going with Ortega in goal because it's the Cup. It's normally what he does is play Ortega in the Cup. I mean, if he wants to go with Ederson, no problem. I think Ederson's better. I would play Ederson, but I imagine Ortega gets the start. Defenders, you really only have a couple options for center backs. You have Ruben Diaz, Kusanov. You have Vitor Hayes, who I imagine is unlikely to feature. He's been playing with the EDS squad, I think. Maybe the under-21s, one of those two. So probably not quite Vitor Hayes yet. But if they want to rotate Vardiol, they could play Vardiol center back. They could play Nico O'Reilly left back. And then, not play Vardiol at all. So that's where the question is. Vardiol is probably the third center back. And there is that rumor of the injury. So in my mind, I'm going to go with Kusanov and Diaz pairing. I think that makes the most sense. You could potentially see Gvardiol, like I said, but there is a rumor of the injury. Pep didn't say anything specific about it, but just for that reason, I'm going to think that Nico O'Reilly, see if he's available. Yeah, there we go, is going to be the left back for, at least for today, or for tomorrow in this game here. Now, he has played a lot of left back in the FA Cup. He's looked very good. He's looked impressive. So hopefully there's nothing serious with Vardiol, and we can just give him a bit of a rest here. But I'd go O'Reilly. I think it's time we see him a lot going forward. Right back, you have two options: Rico Lewis. You have Mateus Nunes. I guess you could play Nunes and Lewis left back, which I just wouldn't be a fan of personally. I'd rather play Nico O'Reilly left back than Rico Lewis left back. But you got Semenyo on the left. He's kind of a physical profile. Rico Lewis is not super physical. So I think if Semenyo is on the left, it makes a lot of sense to play Nunes at right back, just because he's got just more physicality to his game. He can handle him, and they're going to run most of their attack through Semenyo because the guy's their best player. He's fantastic. Now, Nunes not a great defender, obviously, but this combination of defense is pretty solid. I would think that'd be what Pep would want to go with. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I would do. Now, moving to the midfield, I think it's certain that you see Nico Gonzalez. Nico has been pretty good for City in general. I don't think he's been, an outstanding superstar. Wow, I can't believe we signed this guy, but he's been solid, which is all we can ask at the moment for a guy we signed in January. A little bit different than Kusanov, who's been pretty mega. But Nico, again, solid option, better than what we had previously, without a doubt. Then you have the other 8 6 holding, double pivot, whatever Pep decides to do, it's probably you have an option of 3 players. You have Kovacic, you have Gundogan, and you have Bernardo. I personally say we go with Kovacic. I think he is the best of those 3 options at the moment. And you have sort of a pivot here where Nico can sweep and clear things up, while Kovacic is a bit of a ball carrier, which he's very good at ball carrying and progressing the ball forward. But also he can defend again a bit. He's just not super athletic and great at the transitions, unfortunately. But that's not anything new. It's not anything that you guys don't know already. You have the 10 role. You can go with Marmoush as a second striker. You could go with Foden, second striker, 10. You can go KDB. A lot of options. I have no idea what Pep is going to do, but Foden did come out with those comments about needing a break from football and having some issues off the pitch. So maybe we give Foden a rest and we go with KDB. We go with Kev. He had a fantastic international break for Belgium. Looked very good, very impressive. So maybe Pep rewards him, gives him a start, and Foden can come on for the last 30 minutes. Or maybe you flip. I don't know. But I'm going to go with KDB. I think he's looking good, and he's ready to play. Haaland, of course, starts up top. No doubt about that. There's no other option unless you want to do Marmoush and rest Haaland. But I don't know. I don't really see why you would do that. On the left, I think Marmoush has to play. He is one of our most informed players. I think he's better than any of the other wingers we have, Ndaku, Savinho, Grealish. So for me, I start Marmoush on the left. And on the right, you do have the option for Foden, but I go with Savinho. I think Savinho is the best right winger we have. You can do Doku, you could do Oscar Bob. If Oscar Bob was fit and healthy, I would play Oscar Bob. Again, I don't think he's fit and healthy and ready. So I go Savinho over Doku. And again, the option to change would be Marmoush in this sort of 10 second striker role with Doku on the left. And that's possible. We see that as well. But personally, selfishly, I'd like to see KDB play as much as he can the rest of the season because I do think he's leaving at the end of the year, unfortunately. But this is the squad I would go with. More than enough quality to win the game, advance to the semis, go play at Wembley. So in my head, I know it's at Bournemouth and it's going to be a very tough game, first game back from the break. But I'm going to go with a City win, 2-1, close one, but Haaland gets a brace. 2 goals for Haaland, and hopefully that leads to a big run towards the end of the season that we can put together, secure Champions League, win the FA Cup, and have some momentum going into the summer for a big rebuild in the Club World Cup, which, hey, hopefully we win, get that £100 million prize, and can reinvest that right into the team, buy some quality players to keep City's dominance going forward. Anyway, that's all for the video today. Thank you all for the new subs and the likes, comments, all of that. Let me know what you guys think of the team. Give me your score predictions in the comments below. I will be doing a live watch along, of course, for the game. So come to the channel, check it out, and I will see you guys